When a high-tech Tesla prototype breaks down in the middle of nowhere, its billionaire creator, Elon Musk, finds himself at the mercy of a struggling small-town mechanic. What starts as a routine repair leads to an extraordinary lesson in innovation, humility, and the power of grassroots ingenuity. Joe wiped his grease-stained hands on a rag as he leaned against the counter of his small auto repair shop. The clang of tools and the hum of the radio filled the air, but the shop was eerily quiet. No customers again. Business had been slow for months, and Joe's bills were piling up. Yet, despite the challenges, Joe never stopped tinkering. In the corner of the shop sat his pride and joy, a homemade diagnostic tool pieced together from discarded parts. It wasn't flashy, but it worked wonders. Joe dreamed of one day creating tools that could rival those of big manufacturers, but with his dwindling resources, it felt like a pipe dream. With a sigh, Joe turned back to the engine he was repairing, unaware that today would change his life forever. Elon Musk adjusted his sunglasses as he cruised down a quiet country road in one of Tesla's newest prototype vehicles. The drive was meant to clear his head after a grueling week, but the car's dashboard suddenly lit up with warning signs. A low hum turned into a sputter, and the vehicle rolled to a stop. Elon frowned, stepping out and popping the hood. He prided himself on understanding the mechanics of his creations, but even he couldn't solve the issue here. The nearest Tesla service center was miles away, and his phone had no signal. In the distance, he spotted a small sign, Joe's Auto Repair. Reluctantly, he decided to seek help, hoping for a quick fix. The bell above the door jingled as Elon entered the shop. Joe looked up from his workbench, sizing up the man in the crisp suit. "You're a bit far from corporate America, aren't you?" Joe joked, wiping his hands. Elon smirked. "Car trouble. Think you can take a look?" When Joe saw the sleek prototype outside, his curiosity piqued. "What's this, some kind of spaceship?" he teased. Without waiting for an answer, he grabbed his tools and got to work. Elon watched as Joe expertly diagnosed the problem. The mechanic's homemade tool caught his eye. "Did you build that?" he asked. Joe nodded.
Yep.
"Can't afford the fancy stuff, so I make do. Works just as well, if not better." As Joe worked, the two men struck up a conversation. Joe shared stories about the struggles of running a small business in a world dominated by corporations. "Everything's about the bottom line now," Joe said. "People like me? We're just trying to survive." Elon listened intently. "I started small too," he admitted. "My first office was in a tiny rented space. No fancy equipment, just a dream." Joe glanced at him. "You've done all right for yourself." Elon chuckled.
True.
"But success doesn't mean forgetting where you came from." With the car fixed, Joe handed Elon the keys.
"That should do it," he said.
"You're good to go." Elon inspected the work, genuinely impressed. "How much do I owe you?" Joe shrugged. "Call it $50. Elon smiled, pulling out his wallet. As he handed Joe the money, a business card slipped out. Joe's eyes widened as he read the name, Elon Musk. "Wait, you're that Elon Musk?" Joe stammered. "Guilty," Elon replied, amused. Joe's hands shook. "I just gave one of the richest men in the world a discount." Before leaving, Elon took another look at Joe's homemade tools. "These are incredible," he said. "Ever thought about scaling up?" Joe laughed. "Scaling up takes money. That's a luxury I don't have." Elon's expression turned serious. "What if I helped you? Imagine these tools in every mechanic shop across the country." Joe stared at him, speechless. "You do that?" Elon nodded. "I believe in supporting people with great ideas. Let's make it happen." Weeks later, Joe's shop was unrecognizable. With Elon's support, he had upgraded his equipment and was working on mass-producing his innovative tools. Orders poured in, and Joe became a local hero. One day, as he demonstrated his tools to a group of young mechanics, Joe paused and smiled. "If you've got a good idea, don't let anyone tell you it's impossible. Sometimes, all it takes is the right person to believe in you." In the distance, Elon watched quietly, a satisfied grin on his face. He had come to fix his car but left with something far more valuable, a renewed belief in the power of grassroots innovation.